What's up, guys? How we doing? I was just making a little bit of an entrance here. How are we? How are we all doing, gang? Let's see. I'm being helpful.
Thanks, anyways. I'll make it.
Make sure you use enough ice.
Guys, you added like 8 things. I think it's alright. I required much ice.
Doing good, Gorilla. Doing good. How's the weekend been, sir? Figured I'd fire it up a bit early today. Let people get in. Let people get chatty on this little Monday afternoon. Feels weird. Feels really weird, guys. I've not done this in like a few weeks now. Now, I know while we're waiting and shooting the shit. Yeah, I mean, I would say I've been up late, but that's every night for me because I don't sleep till some point in the morning every day anyhow. Now I know while we're waiting for people, I was saying, yeah, I really wanted to go on that J.S. Mosman debate after it was over, but oh my, did that panel get boring as fuck to watch. Those guys were painful. Not Sarah's fault. Sarah's, great at what she does, host and all that, and I commend Sarah for being able to put up with some of the panel selections that she has to put up with certain people. I would be probably ready to scream and dive out a window. In Minecraft, of course. But that's what I remember just listening to that panel afterwards, and I'm like, well, this is not going in any interesting direction. So I do not because the thing is like the thing with Flo's panels is I will listen it. I am like listening in and chatting intermittently during the night because there are, I think, like nights I'm on the clock. Flo is live more often than not. So and then there's like, there's times I'm free in the morning and, he ends early. So it's a lot of my free time doesn't intersect. Either that or it's just like there's something there'll be some kind of kooky drama going on that I just got no fucking opinion on because I know I do not know any other people involved. Yeah, exactly. Like when I was what was last week? Glenn did that stream that turned into that open panel Glenn was doing turned into like what, a 24 fucking hour stream, something ridiculous like that, talking about the polygyny argument, which I feel Glenn is turning into his signature debate topic. I think he's like setting it up to be that. Because, I mean, that's the thing. With that kind of topic, though, I have to commend Glenn if he put this much thought into it, that kind of topic, like, yeah, you will start a live and it will never end because it will get people to keep coming up to argue about it. People will keep coming in for that. If you don't shut the stream down yourself, you won't have to worry about shutting it down. People will keep the content going on a topic like that. I mean, the most I would say if I actually got up there, aside from making jokes about everything else, I'd be fucking boring as fuck, because my opinion on the subject of that whole is polygyny a sin thing is kind of like, you know, if you're talking about like 90% of men on Earth wiped out, then yeah, it's perfectly fine. It would be perfectly understandable and reasonable and fine. It's like you know, it's like being the sole survivor of a plane crash in the mountains. Is anything? Yeah, you'd be doing. You're at a point where yeah, what you're doing is okay for that moment. That's why the most I'd be like, yeah, is it a sin? Yes, until it's not, and then it's not a sin until until society makes it unnecessary. Yes, I remember the books, and then I remember they tried to do an adaptation of it for FX, and it totally failed. I think they only got one season. I never watched the adaptation at all. I heard there was a lot of fuckery with it that people weren't happy about, because of course, like, it was getting hijacked for the messaging, trying to flip it as being like all women positive or whatever. I remember I was familiar with the book somewhat, and it's one of those things where they had some interesting ideas in the books that the show was not going to be able to get to, which I'm surprised that adaptation actually failed, because normally FX has handled some adaptations pretty well. I thought The Strain was really good. Strain at one point I would have said was probably one of the top 3 shows I was watching on television in a given year. The first, it was really good. Especially when you realize that the old guy, one of the original villains, like, okay, spoiler alert, but the rich old guy who's helping the master in The Strain, who is like the head vampire of the evil vampires, the old guy who plays his first like human henchman, yeah, that's the dad from Jumanji, who also played Van Pelt. Taboo, I never watched Gorilla, but I have meant to watch that one. Yes, Shogun was really good. Yeah, like, Shogun was one of those things. I gotta fix that. Oh yeah, we gotta fix that one. What was I doing? Don't mind me. I'm just fixing some shit in real time. Okay. 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 I hate doing tech support. Yeah, that would be. You would think that would probably be the best way to adapt a lot of books. Honestly, is depending on how like in depth you have to go into certain things. Shogun, I was not familiar with at all. I mean, I know the guy, I can never remember his name, but which is funny because I can list off so many different Japanese wrestlers off the top of my head, and I could tell you who each one of them is. But I can never remember this dude's name. But, you know, I knew him previously as being in John Wick 4, and he was in that Bullet Train movie, which was fucking insane. I loved that movie. Bullet Train was fucking amazing. It was like, that was one of those things where I think the best way to describe it would be, I don't know if they set out to make a live action anime, but that's exactly what they kind of did with Bullet Train, similar to John Wick. All right. I'm going to fix those at a later date. We'll be worrying about that after today. Okay. Yeah, and I know how some people are like, well, are they going to do a sequel to Shogun? Why? Well, why do you need to make up something completely new that nobody asked for, that doesn't have any source material? So at this point, they're just going to make shit up that doesn't have to follow anything that was set up in the original series if it didn't want to. It's like, why did the HBO Watchmen sequel need to happen? It didn't. There was no need of that. It was, you know why the Watchmen HBO sequel probably exists in part is for people who never forgave Zack Snyder for changing the movie and getting rid of the squid and making the attack a Dr. Manhattan energy bomb instead, which made a lot more sense and actually helped the narrative of the story. Yeah, I said it. I'm somebody who's never cared that they took the giant squid out of Watchmen. People can cope about it all they want. It's fine without it. Makes just as much sense, if not more sense. You know what doesn't make sense is people who are so upset about the squid that they make an entire sequel series that instead of talking about Cold War, nuclear Holocaust tensions, it's whining about racial grievances for 10 episodes. That's what you don't want. That's what nobody needs. Yeah, I think maybe that as a writer, but that was another thing where he got shafted because Abrams was attached to Watchmen, I think, and they had decided it was just going to be a one and done season no matter what. And see, okay, you brought up The Leftovers, Gorilla, and now I'm going to have to talk about The Leftovers. I was very interested in the premise. I was very interested in the trailers. Then I watched the first couple episodes, and by like the end of the first season, dear Lord, that show was boring the piss out of me every day. Yeah, whoever it was that was like the producer, showrunner, like the actual showrunner behind Watchmen was like, yeah, it's one and done. Maybe it was him. I don't know. I could have sworn at some point, I thought, was it Abrams that had some kind of input with Watchmen? I could have sworn. Let me double check. Because sometimes I get things that annoy the piss out of me, understandably very confused. Oh yeah, it was just him. He was, yeah. Okay, so yeah, there was no like big involvement above Lindelof. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense. And so yeah, I remember it was him though saying, "Oh yeah, it's just a one and done season," and blah blah blah. I think that's cope that nobody liked it, and HBO kind of knew nobody was gonna like it because really, outside of the times when the Ozymandias arc was kind of interesting, and that really was the only thing that kept me remotely fucking invested in that show and what was happening. I've been trying to find things because, it's been so long that I just forget where the fucking controls for everything is. Where's our boy? There we go. There's our boy. We found him again. Para, welcome in, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hurricanes coming through. We've just been shooting the shit so far today. Seeing how much of the gang see how much of the old gang gets in here after a couple weeks, because it's been a while before we get talking about some shit. So I'm gonna see here. I'm not. I work from. So I work from home. So work is actually right. Work is about 5 feet that way. When I do work at night, work is 5 feet that away. But I'm not on the clock for a couple more hours. So I will. Well, as we are waiting for the old gang to get in here, see what's going on. I'm gonna let me just adjust some. Bear with me while I adjust some things here, because I can tell some. I can tell I don't expect someone to be showing up today in chat. It's so that's right. I gotta fix up a couple other things here. I gotta tell you guys, it has been a minute. Has it not been a minute? Oh, yep. That's the one. It's just... So, yeah, it's about the usual show time. So, we'll kick it off here on this typical Monday. So, during the 2-week hiatus, which was planned, the first week was pretty normal. 4th of July was really good. Had a good weekend after we did the early Wednesday show. Everything then went into the long holiday weekend. Everything was fucking great. You know, first week comes and goes, everything's good. But then last weekend, so about around the 13th-ish, something like that. So around the weekend of the 12th, some shit gets brought to my attention that I did not expect, but when a lot of things got pulled together, I cannot say I was surprised. So, you're going to notice, here's what we got. Here's as the situation goes. So, someone is not in chat, a particular mod of ours by the name of Ishmael, who I do not expect to make himself known. I don't, if he's watching, which he might be, I don't think he can help it. I think the curiosity has gotten the better of him, because as soon as I found out everything that I found out, I proceeded to put up posts, I put up reminders, and I played everything off as completely normal and under control, which normal, what the fuck is normal around here? But under control, certainly under control. So, Et3rnally has had to take an indefinite hiatus from having any presence on the internet because of some behind-the-scenes conduct involving bullshit being pulled by Ishmael. Now, Ishmael, which I didn't know, had talked himself into getting into being the one to operate Cash App. So this dude, because here's the thing, I've seen all the conversations. I've read a lot of shit that he was up to. And it's infuriating on a personal level, because his conduct has not only put Et3rnally in danger, essentially, So she has to essentially be in hiding off of the internet and make herself as invisible as possible to protect herself and to protect her family. But this is also the work of someone who just showed up in April. He didn't just show up. There's a time I remember exactly when Ishmael came into existence in this part of the universe, and that was when he was sitting around doing jack shit, being a worthless talking head, being an echo contributing absolutely fucking nothing. Just like when he was up here on her birthday, which, yeah, I took the birthday stream of Eternals down because the fact that he was present on this show while all of that was going on makes me fucking furious that he sat here trying to fuck with everything I was working on to my face. He was fucking with this. He was trying to fuck with everything to my face, and I did not know at the time. So, along in these conversations is him constantly trying to convince, not only is he going to run this Cash App for Eternal, but he's promising her the fucking moon. Not only is he promising her the moon, I would say, damn it, he was promising her the fucking world. And it's like, and he goes, so not only was he going to handle this Cash App for her, but he was the one trying to put the private Twitter accounts in her head. That was his idea. And then you notice she never ended up doing any of this shit, never ended up starting any of this shit, started talking back about it on the show. So she was pushing back at it. And then he's pushing her in DMs to basically, well, leave Wally's show. Stop doing all of this. Leave the channel. Leave doing the show with him. Just come over with me and I'll run everything. I got all of this. I got you. I'll take care of everything. This dude's pathetic. I'm trying to make a long list of bullshit that I read in the past week very, very fucking short. So, ultimately, they have their falling out, and a part of this falling out, or whatever you would call it, a whole bunch of like just what back and forth DM bullshit going on for a few months. Yeah, when that blew up, he took the Cash App and ran. Took the money and ran. Do I believe I'll see him again, Gorilla? Absolutely not. I believe he has multiple fucking usernames. I mean, I know of the only channel I ever knew him from was I knew he came from Machines, from a panel Machine was on. Ishmael, I believe, was like just kind of sitting on that panel while Machine was arguing with Easy that night. And then when Eternal hopped on that panel afterwards, which incidentally, I said to her that night, because I know how people fucking operate. So I would not personally do something like this unless it was purposeful, deliberate. But she says to me back then, she goes, oh, well, Easy's gone. I can go up. I'm going to go up and like just chill with Machine for a bit and talk shit and promote the show and whatever. I said, don't do that. She goes, why not? I said, it's got nothing against Machine, but I said, do not do it. It's not that I got a problem with you going up with Machine. I like Machine just fine. He's a cool dude. But I said, Easy has not stopped watching. I said, his people have not stopped watching. They've not gone away. They're going to keep watching because they want to fuck with Machine. You introduce yourself into this now. She did it anyway. And then, of course, during that stream, Easy was in chat continuing to argue with Machine under another screen name, and he was watching it. Because at the time, I was tuning in and out because I was busy with shit that night. And I messaged her and I said, I told you he is, he's fucking doing it right now. So I was right. I mean, if she had listened to me in the first place, because I know how other people operate, she'd have never even interacted with this Ishmael dude. And things would be perfectly fine. Yeah, exactly. Gorilla. He didn't contribute anything. He was just kind of sitting there on Machine's panel, taking up space. Now, because I'll just keep telling the stories, because fuck it. I don't have to hurry and get to a point right now in particular. For those of you who want the TLDR, Eternal is gone, possibly never coming back to YouTube, period. I don't see her coming back anywhere without my help, because at this point, I'm the only person she's ever dealt with behind the scenes who hasn't totally fucked her over. So yeah, if she does come back, who do you think she'll come back with? Because I'm the only person she's ever been able to fully fucking trust that she's ever worked with. Because I never took the money and ran from her. When she asked me to, about a month ago, around her birthday, to essentially like just cash her whatever her split was of the super chats at the time, I did it. And she wanted it sent to the Cash App, so I did that. So now I got a little bit even more of a problem with the fact that that I found out after the fact it was this asshole and that he took our money and ran. Because essentially, as far as I'm concerned, if the money was not going directly to her, it should have come it should have been coming back to me. So, am I prepared to go to great lengths to fight Cash App over this money? On principle, I just fucking might. Because I feel stolen from in this indirectly as well, to an extent. I mean, ultimately, yeah, that half of the money was hers. She told me, do this with it, and he stole from her. But, when I'm the one providing the platform for her, who has worked with her, who, unlike this asshole who popped up and started trying to slowly fuck with everything by sweet talking her about star charts and shit, who unlike me was not like 7 months invested into doing this, 7 months committed into doing this. He just decides to fuck with something he never built. Just come along and fuck somebody else's shit up is what he decided to fucking do. Ain't that right, Jesse? Oops. I mean, it is very fitting that, like they said in the 80s, we won't be hearing from him anymore because Jesse's on a vacation far away. And it didn't have to be like this either, because I took the very measured approach originally. When I had the fucking Discord when I found his Discord information, I went and added him on Discord. Sent him the friend request and sent him the message, yo, I think you and I need to have a talk. Now, for those of you who talk to me in general, and I always have to preface this with, and here's the thing, when I have to mention how it is for people when they interact with me, there's a reason. I have to preface it because I have to say, if your only interaction with me has ever been verbal combat, yeah, people would have probably have different feelings about messaging me and carrying on a private conversation. But for those of you who don't just know me from verbal combat, I am a perfectly chill person to talk to. Most of the time, I am chill even when I'm extremely upset. And had he just engaged with me, I would have said to him, look, dude, here's what's going to happen. There is some personal fucking bullshit that was not my business until you fucked with my business and you made it my business. Now, unfortunately, at this point, things got to the point where, yeah, no matter what, I can't unfuck the part of the situation where Eternal can't do the show anymore for the foreseeable future. I can't unfuck that. No amount of talking to him was going to unfuck that. The most I was going to accomplish to say, okay, then you send me back that money. I am going to send it to her another way. And we can disengage here, and you are just banned from everything, and you're gone, and you're done. Don't ever fucking interact with me ever again. He didn't seem to want to give me that opportunity, because I still ain't got no answer back from him as of today. If he had, and again, I got plenty for multiple reasons. I would have good reasons because of the, I have many reasons to have some kind of anger with Eternal's part of it. Angry that, a friend of mine was getting fucking fed a line of bullshit from somebody and taken advantage of. And you know what's funny is, here's the funny thing. And I'll tell this story. Nobody knows this one yet. This is an exclusive because this happened maybe in March. Yeah, March. So we're going to go back in time a minute, and then we're going to go forward. But someone else had approached Eternal about doing a show with him. And what's funny is, the setup for everything was very similar. And I remember when she talked with me, and except here's the difference. This time she talked to me about it. This first time somebody tried to, involve themselves in a situation with her, she talked to me about it. That's the mistake she made with Ishmael, was not talking to me about him ever. Thank you. Thank you, Ghostface. So that's her. So there's her mistake there. Wasn't because I would have told her this. Remember what just happened in March? Well, clearly the universe is testing you to see if you're paying attention because somebody's trying to do it again. Because I said, look, this other situation, they're just trying to, that's it. The way that situation was being pitched to me, I said to her, I said, look, you are going to have someone else holding the purse strings over you 100%. They can take, and if you have a falling out with them, they can just stop giving you money. They can just take the money and run. They can take the ball and go home, and you'll be fucked, and you'll have not, and you could be involved in this arrangement for X amount of however many shows you're doing with this person and get nothing to show for it. Well, when she started kind of testing that and everything I told her, it did expose the situation with the guy, and they had a huge falling out, and I was proven correct. Now, come to find out, then in April, this starts coming along. Except he took a way different approach than the first guy. The first guy approached her like it was a business arrangement, like a channel arrangement. Ishmael comes in trying to sweet talk her about star charts and crystals and incense and shit. Oh, Jesse. And then he started, and then after Moonbeaver shit, Gorilla, exactly. Moonbeaver shit. That's what it is. Oh. Pardon the fuck out of me. I should have the appropriate disclaimers up on stream for this shit. So of course, after enough of laying that on her, that's when he eventually starts slowly weaseling in. The Moonbeaver shit has led to him being a moon weasel, because that's when he starts weaseling in all the business shit. Yeah. Now we have gotten into Ishmael is testing the waters to see how hard he can try to fuck with Wally's operation. And because that was the thing, was that at some point, there was a point when Eternal was telling me at like the end of May, beginning of June, she wanted to like hype up a couple of weeks to her birthday show being her final show, and us putting the show on like an indefinite end, hiatus, whatever. Well, I said, okay, well, if that's what you, and because she was making it sound like she had concerns, and my thing is like, okay, well, what exactly are you concerned about? Because really at that time, like, nobody was fucking bothering us. Like, you know, I mean, let's see, because, like, you know, let's see, anybody who had ever tried to cause an issue ultimately doesn't want to fight with me, so things were peaceful. No, it's because he was, you know, he was talking her into something and she wasn't being honest about it. You know, she's given me her apologies for everything. I'll make that clear now. When we did have a conversation briefly, she said, "I'm sorry, Wally, I've really fucked up." My response, as you would reply to any good friend, is, well, no shit. Because that's how you talk to your friends, right? John, my dog, good to see you, sir. So thanks to Ishmael, we will not get Eternal on a Trampoline for 500 subs. Thanks to Ishmael, we will not get to sell, and we will not get an Eternal guide to balancing things on your butt for merchandise. Thanks to Ishmael, we may never get the $1 a minute Eternal butt cam. So isn't this funny that it's like, he's robbed the people. He's robbed the people. See, here's the thing, was like, he essentially just had Ishmael just had, well, because here's the thing. Ishmael's vision was the Twitter. He wasn't trying to make entertainment with her. He wasn't trying to have a community with her, to have fun with her ultimately. He was pimping her. His end goal was to fucking pimp her online. That's what he wanted to do. You know, he wasn't somebody like me who actually met, you know, happened to come across somebody that nobody was giving a chance and said that, you know what, I think if people can't interrupt her every 10 seconds, this person could actually be entertaining and could actually contribute to the right product. But nobody is clearly thinking of, you know, doing anything with her in that manner. So I took the shot at it, and I think we were doing that to great effect, actually. The fact that, you know, the fact that it was still here and that it was surviving, I was accomplishing that. You know, ultimately, the more we kept doing shit consistently, the more everything just needed to get an audience, and things were eventually going to probably catch fire and things would be fine. I really thought like doing something like the butt cam was going to make the show explode, because once word of being able to do something like that on the stream would get out, people would light up on fire for it. It would spread. People would be sharing. People would be telling people about it. Nobody was like doing something like that. It was going to be fucking brilliant. Yeah, Ishmael fucked up the show, John, and had to and Eternal has to hide off the internet thanks to him now. Exactly. Exactly. So that's the thing. It's like, had she talked to me, had she told me about him months ago, I would have put the foot down before this ever got to this point. I would have fired him from being a mod. I would have booted him from the channel. And I would have fucking put the fear of God in him months ago. But she didn't. You can't fix a problem you don't know about. Because I would have told her, I said, yeah, I am. I would have told her, yes, I am addressing this because this is the other dude. This is the last guy all over again. Someone just trying to fucking step in and then take over working with you and eventually just like either just have you because what, they just want to use you for their own fucking end. That's exactly what it is. Because nobody can say I was ever trying to use her, regardless of the issues with the Snapchat. Like when she asked me to send her anything she was owed for the show, I sent it. You know, I had always made it clear, like, even if she got into a personal argument with me and would get in a mood, and I'd be like, okay, well, if you want to quit, go ahead, but I'll just tell me where to send the money to. You know, it could have all been fucking avoided. So, Ishmael needs to go away. That is my declaration to him. He needs to quit the internet. He needs to just leave every platform whatsoever and go sit in mommy's closet for the rest of his life and cry. Because never mind the amount of bullshit he has put a friend of mine through. And I mean, as I've said, yeah, she's made her own mistakes. I don't take any accountability away from her on this. She's made her own mistakes. But I'm dealing with the person who did not apologize to me. I'm dealing with the person who stole from everybody. At least for all the bulls, at least for, you know what, people, and this is why I do not like and have never liked when people like Easy and Jess and everybody love to just shit on Eternal like they fucking know her. At least when she fucked up on this, at least she knew she owed me a fucking apology. Unlike, some people who will go into my DMs, show me zero respect after how many months I made so much fucking money for them and think they can talk to me like I'm their bitch. Yeah. That's how I feel about that. But enough speaking about that. Yeah, because it's interesting is that appearance on Machine's panel back in April is what inspired Eternal to do her goofy diss track about Easy, which Easy then took as like a personal fucking death threat or threats against his family, saying he was, Easy and like Black, like I saw the people. I saw him spitting his bullshit about that diss track, and I saw people in his chat blatantly backing him up, blatantly reinforcing this bullshit while Easy's playing a victim, pretending that trying to make it like Eternal threatened his kids. Yeah, you got nothing, and you know if you pressed that issue with me, I'd embarrass you. So Easy's response to this was, because this is what happened with the diss track. The diss track led to Easy blowing up my DMs and essentially crashing out in my DMs about it because he wouldn't DM her. Incidentally, Eternal has some stories about that I don't have any images of to prove, so I've never allowed her to speak on it publicly, but the shit I've heard in private. Oh, God. But anyway, here's how I will say, because, I'm not going to show anything, but basically, but this is what happens. The gist of the conversation is that Easy initiates a DM convo with me by referring to Eternal as a cum dumpster. And my response is to immediately go, well, how the fuck dare you fucking DM me thinking you can talk to me like this? Like, really? And I said, here's the thing. I said, Easy, it doesn't matter, like, Eternal's my friend, but yet you will ban people from your chat if you think Alicia is disrespected. Well, how dare you, who demands respect for his wife, get in my DMs, referring to my friend you don't like as a cum dumpster? How fucking dare you, Easy? That was my take on that. Damien, good to see you, sir. Well, yeah, John. See, here's the thing, John. It's funny that you say that, because this has kind of been, because John's kind of tapping into what my response to people has always been. People who, have always just been unable to let go of me doing shit on a stream that they don't like because they have an effigy of me in their head that is very different from who I am as a fucking person, because they only knew me from making dad jokes in super chats and don't have to have the luxury of not thinking that I'm a full fucking opinionated human being who doesn't just make jokes. So, but that's the thing, is like when people are like, well, don't do a show like, why you got to do a show like this? I said, well, what else is there for me to fucking do? Do you want me to sit there and do the same fucking content that 20 other people that you personally watch do on a nightly and weekly basis? Most of which is all ripping off one person's act to smaller and smaller audiences. This is like, you have the original at the top, someone I've known for 5 years who has the act, and then just people beneath him rip that act off to increasingly smaller audiences. Why do I want to just fucking do that same bullshit that everybody else does? I don't. Yeah, I did have a way to, it's like, for me, I wanted to actually have an entertaining grift. I wanted to put a girl's butt on camera for $1 a minute. and get away with it and make money off of it. And in a 2-hour stream could make $120 a day just in 2 hours. Yeah, I thought that was fucking brilliant shit. And then Ishmael took away our ability to ever grace YouTube with a butt cam. We never knew you, butt cam. Unfortunately, Ishmael caused the butt cam to get aborted before we could even try it. Because that's the thing, is like, I like looking at effective ways to fucking maximize shit because that's my, like, pro wrestling brain at work. Is like, no. There is plenty of right. That's why I said to people, I was saying to people months and months ago, I said there are so many non-porn ways you could make money with Eternal. Y'all just stupid. That's how I felt about it back then. There were so many ways to make constant money, to make regular, reliable, fucking straight money with her. And everybody else was too fucking stupid. No, you just want to fucking... Essentially, that's what all these other people who have tried to get involved with her but me have wanted to do. They've just wanted to fucking pimp her. Send her, put her out there to fucking work, and then when it's not making money, or you're done, or you're fucking bored, you're gonna end up fucking kicking her to the curb. That's what these people fucking do. They just change. People like that are always just gonna change up who they're fucking using. It's just how it is. Because no, it's like, no, the butt cam was gonna work. Like that, at that point, that was the one idea. Good to see you, Gorilla. I will be here probably for about another hour. But no, like that idea was fucking brilliant because here's the thing. At that point, who cared if all I needed at that point was all I wanted and needed at that was going to need at that point was more subs and more views. The butt cam was a monetization proof idea. That shit was going to sell money was going to sell to the right fucking crowd. Regardless of whether or not YouTube would ever monetize the show or monetize the channel. It was going to be fucking monetization proof. Like, that was going to, like, people were going to put money into that by any way I gave them the mechanism to do it. Whether it was through the super chats, whether it was getting up to super chats, or whether it was just through the Streamlabs and like using a Cash App. That wouldn't have been in that one. But that's why I'm like, the right ideas are always there. You know, we started doing the cooking thing as a joke, and then it became a regular thing. People liked to watch it. People found it entertaining, and we fucking responded to it, and we went with it, and we were growing it. And we were being consistent enough that it's like, okay, you're doing like a cooking talk show. Like that's got, like you do that consistently. Eventually it was going to get pushed. And it had the element of, yeah, someone like her up there dressed the way she was, that people look at it and go, Yeah, this is different. Like, this kind of show's different. It would have had if the show got pushed and people saw more clips of it, it had the fucking wow factor to get noticed. Yeah, John, exactly. Well, yeah, John, exactly. Most people enjoy watching cooking shows. And here's the thing is like, the other important thing of that was, you know, that was becoming like the primary thing we did. And in theory, that was gonna, like, the more every stream was formatted like that, the more the show was gonna get pushed and had the ability to take off, because it was gonna be having like a cooking comedy show is more attractive to YouTube's algorithm than a variety channel or a variety show. If there's one thing I've heard people say repeatedly, is that it's not usually that great to have a variety channel. Like, the algorithm prefers stuff to be more specific. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, because I've heard people be like, I've heard some people will say like, oh yeah, I started switching to like marketing it as a variety channel, and then like their exposure just tanked. So, I mean, here's the thing. Like, we can. So yeah, Ishmael needs to disappear because I have all the DMs and everything I would ever need to embarrass him in full. And I assume he is not going to be visible under that screen name anywhere else. I know he's probably got many alternates that he uses, and I'm sure he's going to make sure he's never on the Ishmael name again, because I don't think he is so stupid that he does not think he has earned himself the permanent feeling of me on his neck for the rest of his internet life. Like, as soon as you come into, nah, I'm doing stuff I'm engaging in shit that fucks with you, your operation, that I don't know, who built stuff I didn't build, that I don't fucking have, and I don't care what happens to it. Nah, man, fuck you. You weren't the one dealing with all this bullshit, because he never had to deal with bullshit from people for working with her and for being a friend to her. He didn't have to deal with all that. Wally dealt with that. He got to come in and try to hijack something he put no investment into just by being a smooth fucking talker. Now, as far as um, the how we get the great leap from all of that to Eternal has had to leave the internet, the leap is the leap that we got there, like what did Ishmael do that got us from all of this to then that great leap over there? Because you're probably are reasonably thinking, well, that's a very quick escalation of how do we get to they had a huge blow up, he took some money and ran, to now she can't be on the internet. Really? Well, the reasons for how we got there and what Ishmael did is reasons I probably should not fully explain on YouTube and can't. So she has had to deal with that. So basically their online blow up and him taking the money and running has also delved into him subjecting her into her being subjected to some IRL bullshit because of it. So she's gotten subjected to IRL bullshit because of him. She is okay. I'll say this, like, yeah, I did, like, yeah, she's safe. She is safe. She's fine where she is. Like, she's okay. Like, the kids aren't in any danger or anything. That's all. But she just cannot be visible for who the fuck knows how long before she's not dealing with all this bullshit that started with Ishmael. So, I mean, understandably, yeah. I mean, just for the fact of everything, I would be, not allowing him. He is not remaining as a fucking mod, obviously. I don't expect him to fucking show up anywhere around me. I wasn't expecting him to show up and try to defend himself, certainly. Certainly wasn't expecting that. Now, I feel the need to start looking at how do we turn this around, gang? How do we turn around this bullshit, as we must now move forward in a world without Eternal, thanks to Ishmael. Jesse. Fuck you, Jesse. So, because this is the thing. If there is one thing we also tried not to be, it was all about dealing with bullshit like this all the fucking time. Not just constantly doing fucking drama, blood sports, and whatnot. I mean, if we're going to do something, I think at least in tribute to my friend Eternal, we should spin this in a way that we can make something forward, not about this, but just to move forward. Can we move forward with something that's entertaining for people as we step into this new world of YouTube? Is there some kind of way I could come up with an entertaining grift off of this? I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea. Do we have any ideas, boys? What do we do here? How do we start turning this ship in a new direction without the Rear Admiral herself? I'm captain of the ship, but the Rear Admiral is gone now. How did I never call her Rear Admiral in 7 fucking months? Oh, God. Oh, Lord. How did I only ever call her the Rear Admiral when she's not even here? That is funny. Welcome in, Millie. So we're done going through most of the bullshit. Now we can move forward. Now we can talk about how we're going to move forward with this bullshit. It's going good. So what I'm wondering is, how do we move forward? Do we want the red light? Nah, who cares? Let's turn up the house lights a bit. Normal. Let's go normal. So we've got to look at this. I think are there some ways I can somehow pay tribute to all of this and move forward in an entertaining manner. Move forward in a tone and manner that people would expect from me. Move forward in a manner that for those who know me, whether you love me, hate me, or fear me, or just okay with me, that's cool too. Is there a way that all of those people will look and see, yes, this is the Wally we all know no matter what. This was Wally before Eternal. This is still Wally after Eternal. This is the Wally that has never changed. Is there a way I can be that guy moving forward? Is there some entertainment? Is there an entertaining way we can move forward? Oh, John. Why did you want to subject people to that? You know what? I think I know of a way we can move forward. I think I know of a way that Wally can keep the dream alive, can keep this boat moving without the Rear Admiral. I'm the only captain at the ship helm anymore. So what do we do, guys? How do we have fun with this? And I think I've got it. I think I know what I'm going to have to do. John, buckle up. I may have to grift with this. I may have to do grifting with this, John. Buckle up. I think we are going to take on... I think I am going to take on a worthy cause. Are you ready? We are going to, and I'm going to put this in the chat. We are going to have the Women's Unemployment Awareness Stream. Now, that has nothing to do with awareness for women's unemployment. I'm just going to be streaming to raise awareness that a woman is unemployed. And by making people aware that a woman is unemployed, I want to raise money for giving people that awareness. I think that is fair. I think it is an important service that I sit here and inform people that a woman who was here is no longer here. She has unemployed herself from everything. And now that I've made people aware of it, I think people need to reward us for making them aware of it. Yes. Brilliant, John. Brilliant, John. It sounds like a not-for-profit. That's right. The Women's Eternal Unemployment Fund. Because by raising awareness that a woman is unemployed, I hope we can one day raise awareness. I am starting this with a dream that we can one day raise awareness that all women are unemployed. I want to one day raise awareness of a workforce with a 0 female worker population if we can do it. We need to spread the message of women's unemployment far and wide, starting here. This is going to be ground zero for the Women's Eternal Unemployment Awareness Foundation. Because our goal is ultimately the unemployment of all women. The eternal unemployment of all women is what we want. That is the goal. Do you think we can ride this? Do we see the new Shores crew? Do we see the shining seas ahead of us? Is this the way? Is women's eternal unemployment the way? John, yes, women stay home with the kids and it must be funded. Yes, Millie, yes. Yes, John, this could work. Oh, well, the USA is not making us the check for it yet. What I'm going to have, this is why, what I'm going to have to do is do a stream to make people aware that Eternal is unemployed, and through that we are starting the new mission. Like, we are paying tribute to this loss since we can't have her back, we have to unemploy all women. Since we can't have her back, I don't want any women in the workforce. I'm just going to have to take them all out of the workforce now in vengeance. So that's going to be the new grift. Eternal women's unemployment. Eternal women's. Actually, no, wait. No. No. Do we want that? Do we want to call it that? Eternal women's unemployment? Is that what we want? Or do we want, what sounds better? Eternal women's unemployment or women's eternal unemployment? Either way, we're raising awareness that these women should all be out of the workforce and that people should be paying for it. And paying for me giving you the awareness. Every time a woman becomes unemployed, I will make you aware of it. I will raise money for the fact that we are getting these women out of the workforce. Women's Eternal Fund for Unemployment. Eternally unemployed and funded. Okay, what if we shorten that a little bit and move it around and we call it the Women's Eternal Unemployment Fund? I think we've found the future. Guys, I think we found the future. The future of this show. The future of this channel. The future of your boy. The future of YouTube. The future of this whole damn fucking nation. Whole fucking planet. We've found the future. We've seen it, and it is women's unemployment. It is 100% women's unemployment. That is the goal. That is the future. Our goal is no woman in the workforce. That's right. No, you would say, well, Wally, you had her dress in sexy, revealing outfits and dance on camera and shake her butt. No woman should work under those conditions. Well, women work under those conditions all the time. It's called a strip club. But I digress. The point is, though, that I have to ultimately, and it hurts to do this, but I have to be intellectually honest, and I have to be morally and ethically honest and concede to those people and put my hands up and take the L on this, that is correct. No woman should be working under those conditions, but that is because the bitch shouldn't be working in the first place. The problem isn't the workforce. The problem is the women being in it. And that's the future we got to lead to. Is a workforce worldwide without women. Now, I am perfectly fine with abolishing women's wrestling. I'm ready to make that sacrifice. Yes, it could, John. This is the future. This is the future. Eternal women's unemployment is the future. Because once we take them out, it will be eternal because Once we get them out of the fucking workforce, we're keeping all you broads out of the workforce forever. Once we got this down, once we got this bullshit under control, and once we got this down to zero, yeah, you broads ain't never going back to fucking work. You think it's going to be eternal. We win. Men W. Women L at that point. We win. And then once you're all out of the workforce, you're all going to go back and you're going to watch our old show where a woman's teaching you how to dress for a man while you're in the kitchen getting busy while you're not working. And then those videos are going to skyrocket and make a fortune. I can't guarantee that part, but I'll have been proven correct. That'll be improving relationships left and right under the new world order of eternal women's unemployment. That is the new message. I'm going to be bringing that everywhere, starting tonight, starting tomorrow, whenever. Whenever I go on a panel, that is the message I am bringing, is for the people to come back. If you've been here before, come back. You can come back and repent and embrace eternal women's unemployment with us. You can embrace it. Embrace the future of a workforce without women. That is the future. Because as I said, I really thought it was the best thing for men in my audience to have my nice little pro-sexual harassment workplace here. But really, I thought it was a great thing for humanity to have a woman in a pro-sexual harassment workplace, when really I thought that would be a great thing for men to have a pro-sexual harassment workplace. But then I've realized, no, the true gift would be a workplace with no women at all. So now we must change. The future is here, and we must change with it. We must embrace the brave new world where Eternal has unemployed herself, and we must now unemploy all women in solidarity with her. We must settle for nothing less than never seeing a woman in an HR department ever again. No HR. This will be the end of HR as we know it. As a workplace without women, you won't need HR. You won't need it. It'll be a glorious golden age for the workforce. And so it is with that, we must realize there is only one way forward, one real way forward. And it is time for women's unemployment to end eternally. We must have the eternal end of women in the workforce, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'm gonna have to bring Glenn in on this, John. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna spread the word. We are now, and I want all of you to spread the word where you go, wherever you may go, wherever you may be on this crazy realm of YouTube. let it be known that Et3rnall has left, and Wally now seeks the unemployment of all women. We're coming for your jobs, you crazy broads. We're gonna take your jobs. Take them away. We won't even need to fill them. We're just gonna get rid of them, honestly. Like, we don't need HR departments. Like, get the fuck out. We won't need them. Get the fuck out of here. That's the future. Eternal women's unemployment. And so next time we will be launching, when we come back, we will be launching the Eternal Women's Unemployment Fund. As we raise awareness for a world of women's unemployment. There's the future, guys. There. We got it, gang. We got it. The future is locked. We are locked in. This bullshit is rock solid. We are ready to go. How are we thinking, guys? How do we feel about the future? How do we feel about the future, everybody? I think the future's bright. Yes, because this is the... Yes, exactly, John. Because I believe that, because I want to make it very clear, what people are going to be giving their money for. Let's make this clear. Transparency is important. My name's not Jesse with a Cash App. Transparency is important. What are you giving the money for? What are people going to be giving the money for? What is the Eternal Women's Unemployment Fund going to support? Well, it's going to support a future where other women can be unemployed. Et3rnall is unemployed, and with enough money, other women can be unemployed too. And that is the message of hope that we are spreading. I have successfully unemployed this woman, and you can, and I have successfully unemployed a woman, and you can too. That is the future. So that is what you are supporting, a future where more women can be unemployed, just like Et3rnall. That is the future. The future of this channel is women's unemployment. Okay. How was that? That was good. I'm really running with that. I like that bit. I like it. I like it. I like that a lot. Exactly. Yeah, we can fund that. we can fund that. We'll have to allocate that. So with that, it's almost like, gang, it's almost like we have to declare that, you know what, let's get political with this for a little bit. You know, we're actually doing the smart thing, because we're shutting down the ministry of excessive booty, the ministry of degeneracy. We're not shutting that down. We're shutting down the ministry of excessive booty. I will still refer to myself as representing the ministry of degeneracy if I feel like it, to troll people. But we've realized, that's the problem. It was a government ministry. We're going into the private sector. We're lobbying now. We're an NGO now. We're an lobbying now. We're an NGO. That this is we're now the Eternal Women's Unemployment Fund. We're going into the NGO business. Don't tell Mark Reed that. He couldn't handle talking about NGOs with Andrew the other night. Don't tell Mark Reed that. That we're in the future now. We're moving into we're going into the private sector with this shit. Yeah, it's for the good of humanity. Well, unfortunately, let's face it, John. There was no future in us as a government ministry. I've seen how Australia runs the government. There was no future in the Ministry of Excessive Booty as a government agency. So now we can welcome. Should we put up something new for the new era? Well, let's put up something for the new era. All right. We ready to test this out? We're ready to test this out, guys. Let's test this out. There we go. Everybody look up. Look up. I think is that a helicopter? No, that's the new banner. Okay. It's a new banner. It's not a helicopter. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right, John. You're right. Because you know what, John? If I were to spell it correctly and not use it this way instead, I would actually really be not grifting appropriately. Yes, she did. So this is the new era, everybody. This is the welcome. Welcome to the era of eternal women's unemployment. The new era. Yeah, she was. So was I. We'll have to talk about you applying for benefits. Yeah, I didn't start thinking like I didn't start thinking that a light post was. I didn't look at a light post and suddenly think I wandered into Black Hawk Down. Hola, Plumpy. Welcome to yes, John has it right, Millie. Management gets funded first so that management can distribute unemployment funds for women. Welcome, Plumpy, to the new era of eternal women's unemployment. We are raising awareness that a woman is unemployed and making money for me doing it. And we're going to make money from me doing it. Oh, Kissy Cat, how much time you got? How much time you got? The TLDR for everyone is if you look up at the banner. So, due to the actions of a former mod of ours named Ishmael, due to a situation involving Ishmael, Et3rnally has had to exile herself from the internet indefinitely. So she will not be continuing with the show moving forward. Yes, it was a situation involving both of them. Only one of them has tried to offer me any kind of apology over it. I'll make that clear. But yes. I know. But so we are now I am now focus grouping. I am now focus grouping the new era of Wicked Wally streaming. And what we've come along with, for those of you just joining us, and we will, what I have come across with, so what I have come up with the new era is, since Et3rnally is now unemployed, Kissy Cat, I think the best thing I can really do for for both myself, for the channel, the show, myself, and all of humanity is to spread the word of women's unemployment. Et3rnally is now unemployed, and that means it is time for all women to be eternally unemployed. We need to spread the message of men reclaiming the workforce from women. Thank you, Kissy Cat. I appreciate it very much. Yes, it is now time for the era of women's unemployment. Look, you might be one of the holdouts. I don't doubt it. You might be one of the holdouts. You might be like living in, like, you might make it all the way to, like, we're in like a Last of Us scenario and there's like 15 women left working on the planet, that you might be a holdout. But the eternal unemployment horde is coming for you eventually. The eternal unemployment abyss will consume all before it. It's just a matter of time. All shall descend into the future with us. Descend, ascend, whatever. Okay, well then the mission works. Either way, then the eternal women's unemployment fund works. I mean, here John's willing to balance stuff on his butt for the right woman. Like, the spirit of the show will never die. Clearly, John's gonna keep it alive. But this is the new era I think we're coming into. I think this is the best message that I can bring people. When people ask me from now on, what's new, Wally? What's going on? Well, Eternal is unemployed, and now I want all women eternally unemployed. My life's mission is to end women's employment. One woman, if we can do it one woman at a time, brothers and sisters, we got to do it. We have to bring the mission to the world. Bring the mission to every channel that we go. We got to bring that mission everywhere. That's what we got to do. Okay, yeah. So right now you're not you have not been taken in by the movement yet. You are just there's activist work you can do. That's called doing activist work, is trying to get yourself out of the workforce in this case. Our activists are women campaigning to be taken out of the workforce voluntarily by a man. Good. You keep that up. Keep up that activist work there, Kissy Cat. You're doing the Lord's work for this new mission. I mean, we can get it funded by the government eventually. Like because at that point, like we get them all out of the workforce. We're running this shit top to bottom. We can fund it at that point. Who gives a flying fuck? We'll fund it because we can. John's letting her down gently. I mean, it's your preferences, bro. We got to respect preferences here. So this is where we've really come across a beautiful future, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful future. Bright with the promise of women's unemployment. That's right. Our goal is simple advocacy. We advocate women's unemployment for all. For all. We are talking total women's unemployment. That is the goal. That is the constant aspiration, is the 100% no turning back. We got it. Yes, can confirm. Oh, now we got Cat putting some moves on here. We got some flirtation going on here, I think. We got some flirtation going down. Yeah. You know what? One woman's call out is another man's flirt, Cat. Think about it. John, meet your future wife, Cat. See, that's cope, Cat. Like I said, one woman's call out is another man's flirt. Say whatever you want. There's no covering that shit up. That calls it like a season. Calls it like a season. Yep. The mission is going to spread from here. I need everybody, everywhere we go. We need the horde to spread. We need you to spread the message like it's a zombie outbreak. Everybody needs to know, hey guys, Eternal is unemployed and Wally's on a crusade against all women's employment. We are crusading virulently against all women's employment. That's right. You sink your teeth into all those chats, all those channels you go on. Ah, yes, Cat's going to be at debate con too. I will be there, and I will be there with Millie. As I said, I'm pretty. If it's in November, then I definitely have to be there because my birthday's at the end of the month, and if I don't get together with everybody that close to my birthday, Andrew will probably never fucking forgive me. October, maybe I could get away with it, but if it's in the month of my birthday, if it's that close to my birthday, and like Andrew doesn't get to rematch me and who can drink on each other under the table and see if we can resolve the stalemate the first time, I just don't think he'd ever forgive me. So I'm definitely going to be making that. We'll look at it this way. In downtown, if there was a helicopter, Millie, in downtown Nashville, you'll never hear it. Based, kissy cat. Look, John, I've done like what? It's been like since February, so like 5 of the 7-ish months I've known Eternal. I've done how many fucking streams at this point? Like 3 dozen. Have you not seen enough study materials to learn to like persevere in balancing things on your ass under any and all occasions? Have you not heard that? Have you not learned that by now, my brother? The study materials are there. you can overcome no matter what, whether it's a spatula, an apple, a bowl, a whisk, a blender, a pizza, a piece of meat, an olive, cake, plates, a glass. It's really easy to list off stuff she balanced too, John, so you can figure it out. You can rise up and overcome, my dog. I believe in you. You can rise up and overcome. Even though you can carry on that spirit, my dog, even though the rear admiral is no longer on the ship. You can carry that spirit forward into battle. No, well, see, there's the thing, is the one thing we can't have. See, now, people co-hosting is one thing, but the one thing we can't have is a new Eternal, because having someone in that spot would mean like a woman's working again, and that would defeat the purpose. That would completely rip out the founding principles of our organizational movement of eternal universal women's unemployment. Maybe that's the other ticket. Maybe that's it. Maybe this is actually the new way forward. Let me test this title out, gang. Could this be the real new movement? See you later, Kat. Thanks for coming by. Sorry you have to go suffer on a time clock, when you could be unemployed. Sorry. I hope unemployment finds you soon. Is this the future, guys? The Uwu Fund? Huh? Huh? The Uwu Fund. Ladies and gentlemen, the future is bright. Future is bright indeed. We have turned this around, and we have found the future. The rear admiral had to leave the ship, but the captain's still here. The master and commander is still here. And I consulted the charts, and I found the new course. Universal women's unemployment. With the rear admiral gone, I must determine that women are just not fit for service. Not while I'm in charge. Not while I'm in charge. It's a Futurama reference, Millie. It's old. Zap Brannigan was brilliant, was hilarious. Unfortunately, after a series of unfortunate mishaps involving low-cut fatigue miniskirts and harmless pinching, it was determined that women are not fit for military service. Not while I'm in charge. That was old. That was one of the old episodes. All right, so crew, this is happening. The master and commander of this ship is gonna start shutting the command stream down. Now, in the meantime, you have your mission. Everywhere you go in this panelverse sector, you must spread the message that Eternal is unemployed and Wally has launched a mission to annihilate the women's employment menace that began with her sacrifice. The sacrifice of her employment. Let the word be known. Spread it far and wide, crew. And after you've done that, well, on the rest of your downtime, while I leave this ship on autopilot for the next several days, do your mission, and then as captain, I don't give a shit. Like, y'all sit around and drink beer in your underpants if you want, as long as the work gets done. I don't give a shit. Sound good? I want you all sitting around in your underpants, getting liquored up until you're nice and loyal to the crew and the mission. Yeah, that's right, John. You're too fierce. That's what's happening to you. So as long as you do the mission, I don't care, guys. Just sit around here and drink beer in your underpants till you're good and loyal to me. Sound good? Sound good? So tell people about women's unemployment. Tell people I'm crusading for women's unemployment, and drink beer in your underpants. That's all I got. We'll be seeing you later on in the week. Take care, guys.